documents, and then we'll continue again tomorrow. You know, it's going to take time. I said we're going to spend like days, bringing this particular document to the public. So let us start without wasting any time. Here we go. The character of British administration. The divergent conditions which have described geographically, ethnographically, and climate, together with the very different manner in which the two countries had come under the direct control of the crown, had, as was to be expected, profoundly influenced the form which British administration took in each. The early administration in the South were confined to the coast area, where a large revenue was at the hand from the duties imposed on imported trade spirit. Small though the duties were at that time. Access to the interior was the first desideratum. The creation of roads through the primeval bush, the clearing of waterway block with sod, and later the creation of a port at the Lagos and the commencement of the railway. Any coherent policy of native administration was well nigh impossible in such circumstances. And the material was very unpromising except among the tribes in the hinterland of Lagos. Gradually, the wall of opposition which barred access to the interior was broken down. So I remember that I explained this, today is 18, somebody say retweet, it is 17. Okay, I remember that this is where I stopped the other day. So let me check. Today is 18. So where are you seeing 17, please? Where is the person seeing 17? It is 18 on Twitter. And if you are watching from Twitter, today is 18. So where is the person talking about 17 coming from? So if you are watching from Twitter, please switch to Enter Biafra. That reminds me. Switch to Enter Biafra and let us continue. We're going to cut you off from Twitter. We need to start learning how to use our own platform. It's very important. We know what we are spending to build this platform. It is for us. So you don't, we cannot have our platform and then you don't use it. We have our own. Not when they block you, you start running down here. So you come here now and watch and listen to what we are doing from here. Is it because Biafra, if Biafra is the owner of Twitter, all of you will not even go there. So here is our own, and we must continue to make our broadcast here. So join us on Enter Biafra. Thank you. All right. And I continue. So the person that is saying today is 18. Today is 18, and it is there on Twitter. All right. So the wall is broken down. Systematic penetration of the almost wholly unexplored country east of the Niger began in 1900. So the Ruga started as far back as 1900 when the penetration of the South started. And in 1902, the Arab fetish, whose ramification extended throughout the eastern portion of the country, a cult of human sacrifice, if it is showing April 17, you watch it like that. I do not know where somebody is showing is seeing April 17. If it is showing April 17, watch it like that. Thank you. Whose ramification extend throughout the eastern portion of the country, a cult of human sacrifice and slavery was crushed by force of arms. Now, the inauguration of the British rule in the north was in strong contrast. Here, the chartered company, restricted by financial consideration, had been compelled to confine their depot chiefly to the banks of the Niger and Benue rivers. The very existence of any organized government was threatened by the haughty insolence of the Fulani armies. Fulani armies was a threat. The condition of Borno, where the French had intervened, compelled immediate action. Nothing could be done until a force strong enough to cope with this powerful emirate had been created, called a powerful emirate. The West African Frontier Force was raised in 1898-99, and on its return from its successful campaign in Ashanti, the task of dealing with the Muslim emirate was undertaken. I want you people to understand that as far back as 1898 and 1999, the British Army already started war with the emirate, Muslim emirate. Look at Muslim emirate. The war against Muslim emirate was undertaken. The question you should be asking yourself, what has changed today that all of a sudden the British embraced the Muslim? Muslim emirate undertaken in 1902 to 1903. Katagora, the noted slave raider who had boasted that, like a cat with a mouse, he would die with a slave in his mouth, was the first to be cursed. And I want you people to understand that, what this particular amalgamation of Nigeria report is showing you is that it is evidently clear that the slave trade was being facilitated by the Fulanis and the Muslims. They were the one. So if you are going to be punishing the white people for engaging in slave trade, those who facilitated in stealing people, abducting and kidnapping and selling them are the Fulanis. As you can see here, I have not seen any Igbo man that is known for slave trade, at least not from the report of the British. But from what we have seen so far, the people that have been stealing, kidnapping people and selling them as slaves are the Fulanis. Nupe, who had also threatened the existence of the new administration, followed. Borno overrun by Barabe army from the Egyptian Sudan, which in turn had been defeated in the British territory by a French force, placed itself under the government and General Motherland Force. En route, theater brought Bauchi under control, and its emir was deposed in reprisal for the ruthless massacre of the people of Garan. Zaria offered no opposition to the peaceful occupation, but the murder of Captain Maloney, resident of Kefi, precipitated hostilities with Kano. The fall of the great city and that of Sokoto in March 1903 was followed by the submission of the minor emirate, and convinced those who had already submitted that their belief that the British would be exterminated by these powerful emirs was vain. When this had been accomplished and the forces of disorder had been broken, the British administration was faced with the insistent urgency of creating a new organization and of developing a native policy without delay. The system evolved will be described in a later paragraph. I want you people to understand that the war we are facing today, the enemy we are facing today, was before Nigeria amalgamation very, very brutal and very violent. That is their nature. The same thing they are doing to us today, they did it to the Britain. And so it took Britain, a lot of, energy and resources to defeat them. So today, we are going to apply more of the power and energy and resources to also defeat them, because they are now in the government. They are now the government themselves. This was when they are not in the government. This was when the British was the one controlling. And you can see the kind of terrorism they have, what the terror, method on the people, including the kidnapping for slave trade and all that. So this terrorism of the North did not start today. That is the difference between us. The necessity of securing means wherewith to carry on the administration was no less instant than the reorganization of the native administration. There was no revenue to be got from spirit. You see, the North was not, the British was not getting any revenue from the spirit. As you can see, the same thing is happening today. They destroy alcohols in the North, while in the South, we sell alcohol and use the proceeds of the alcohol to furnish and develop the North. That is incongruous, which were wholly prohibited. You see, they said there was no revenue to be got from spirit, which were wholly prohibited, while the cost of the large force necessary for the control of the country absorbed the greater part of wholly inadequate grant from the imperial government. So, as far back as that time, the northern Nigeria already prohibited alcohol because of the Islamic doctrine. They prohibited it, and the British was losing because nobody is drinking alcohol. Just like what they did today, they destroy alcohol of Nigerians. Necessity for amalgamation. Here is where we are going to read today and stop, and then wait for the next day where we are going to continue. What necessitated the amalgamation? A, finance. The reason why they join you and Northern Fulani Caliphate in this Nigeria today that some of you are dying for is because of finance. Are you aware of that? Do you know that the reason they join you and Nigeria, Northern Nigeria together is because of finance? Are you aware of that? Maybe you don't know. Today I have come. You are going to know why. Somebody is saying that the audio is cracking. All right. Somebody is saying it is not cracking. You know, so some of these people coming here to distract us. All right. So we continue. The reason is finance. Finance, finance, finance. They have, number one reason is finance. Number two reason is railway. So there is only two reasons to amalgamate Nigeria: finance and railway. You see, Nigeria was never amalgamated for the interest of the people. Okay? That's one thing you should learn today from this broadcast. It was never for the interest of the people. It was for financial benefit. And that is why everything about Nigeria, including those who find themselves in the leadership in Nigeria, is all about how to make money. It's a business. It's a scam. It is about money, finance. And we see it today in the government of Nigeria. From the beginning till this day, it's all about making money, impoverishing people, looting the money, scandal, scam, and all that. Because the foundation of Nigeria was about finance. It's a company. Nigeria is a company. So it has to do with finance. Now, so the Britain did not say, oh, amalgamating Nigeria will make Nigeria become like Dubai. They did not say amalgamating Nigeria will make you to have hospital. Amalgamating Nigeria will make you to start building industries. No, it was finance. Now let us go and read why. you were amalgamated. Some of these idiots that are defending Nigeria today, that are dying for one Nigeria, do not know why you have a Nigeria. You don't know why you amalgamated the North and the South, and you become one Nigeria that you are dying for without having the knowledge of what led to the amalgamation of Nigeria. So let us read. Finance. A. The necessity of amalgamation. A. Finance. Such, in brief, were the antecedent which had given to the North and the South their divergent characteristics and policies. In 1906, a further step in amalgamation was effected in the South. Southern Nigeria and Lagos became one administration under the title of the colony and protectorate of Southern Nigeria. From this date, the material prosperity of the South increased with astonishing rapidity. The liquor, which is alcohol, the liquor that was being prohibited in the North, and the British were losing money, the Unilever, which is the company, was losing money for alcohol, it increased in the South. The liquor duty increased from 3 cents in 1901 to 3 cents to 6D in 1905. Stood at 5 cents, 5D a gallon in 1912. So increased by 2% or so. And afforded an ever-increasing revenue without any denomination in the quantity imported. They yielded a sum of £1,138,000 in 1913. Now, here is where the mistake is. Okay? They look at the economic benefit, financial benefit of merging the southern Nigeria in Lagos. They merge the south. When I say south, we are talking about the eastern region and the western region, the southwest region. They merge them together and it become more profitable. Okay? And the scale of preferences used is based on the liquor, the alcohol. It is based on liquor. The liquor they sold, they made profit. So for that reason, they decided that, if joining the South together can bring this kind of revenue from liquor, then it is a good thing to do to join the North also. But what they refuse to understand, that the same liquor in which scale of preferences was used to amalgamate Nigeria did not sell in the North. Do you understand? The liquor did not sell in the North. The liquor was prohibited in the North. So even if you have, for them to understand that something is deeply wrong, which they know, so they use the scale of preferences of selling liquor in the South and making profit in it, and amalgamated South and Northern Nigeria. When you don't sell liquor in the North. When in the North, they prohibited selling of alcohol. Let me use alcohol for people to understand. So in the North, they prohibited alcohol. In the South, alcohol was being sold, and the business is booming for the British. And today, the same alcohol is still prohibited in the North. And alcohol is being sold in the South. And they are making money. I want you to understand that after 100 years, the problem that British saw before the amalgamated Nigeria have increased even to the worst level. The state is increased. Today, they are destroying alcohol in the North. Businesses of Biafra people. Now, I want you to also let us read the second reason for amalgamation. The second reason. So let us continue. in the north largely depended on animal grant from the imperial government, was barely able to balance its budget with the most parsimonious economy, and was starved of the unnecessary staff, and unable to find fund to house its officers properly. So it emerges where concentrated upon the development of the native administration and the revenue resulting from direct taxation. Its distance from the coast, 250 miles, rendered the expansion of trade difficult. Thus, the anomaly was presented of a country with an aggregated revenue practically equal to its need, but divided into two by an arbitrary line of latitude. One portion was dependent on a grant paid by the British taxpayer, which in the year before amalgamation stood at, are you people hearing? One part of the northern Nigeria was dependent on grant. They cannot produce anything. They cannot make any profit. There is nothing to show for it. They depended on grant from the British government. Part of the northern Nigeria. That particular position of depending on grant have not changed after over 100 years. They still depend on grant. After 100 years, northern Nigeria cannot produce and boast of anything. They come today to deceive you that, oh, they have animals, they have food, they have this one, they have that one, that, and they don't know history. Of course, everything has changed. Maybe they can do better. But let me also remind you that before 1914, northern Nigeria could not afford to pay staff. Even their housing, they starved them because of their doctrine, because of their policies, nomadic policy, because of their unproductive policies and unproductive culture. While the South was booming. Do you understand? What I'm telling you today is that the reason for this have not changed. The same situation of northern Nigeria before 1914 is the same thing there. In fact, today they are worse. And if you keep quiet and don't join us to fight for your freedom, you are going to go back to the situation like how they are. Because what they do is that they will conquer you and make you be like them. That is happening now in Nigeria economy. Look at where the Nigerian economy was during Jonathan, even though there was corruption and all that. Today, they have destroyed the economy, they have destroyed everything, and you come back to square one. And then, when this man came to power in 2015, bag of rice was sold about 7,000 naira. Today, the bag of rice is 40,000. And then after you suffer, after a while, the bag of rice will come back to 27,000. And you start praising them. That, the bag of rice is cheap now. They are now selling at 27,000. You forgot that it was 7,000 just a few years ago. And what is causing all this problem? Because it is their nature. It is incompatible. We can never be one. The same thing that happened before Nigeria amalgamation is happening right before your own face. And when we talk about Bifran, you want to kill Samarepa. You say it is Nigeria because you have no knowledge about Nigeria, because you have no knowledge about anything, because you are a criminal and the only thing you are interested in how to steal money, how to be given appointment in Nigeria state, how you can phone money and loot and become rich. That's all. You don't care about anybody. But I'm telling you today that what led to this amalgamation was a conspiracy against the indigenous people, the Biafra people and the Yoruba people. It was a conspiracy. You can't deprive me the opportunity I have and pay other, and use it to compensate another person. That is what is happening in Nigeria today. And that is why we are going to fight, because the time has come. We're going to do everything humanly possible to exit Nigeria. This war, if it is war, it is going to end. We will fight that war. You know, I've been saying this thing, some of you don't believe me. I know that now you'll be seeing some kepu. Maybe you will believe when the time comes. But what we are saying is that enough is enough. A lot of things have changed. North have had its own structure now that they can actually be very comfortable with their own. And this is a different century that everything is digital. So North is going to progress this time around, unlike before. Once we exit Nigeria, they are going to sit up. But with this particular structure we have today, North can never sit up. They can never ever sit up. It is in their blood and it is in their nature. That's why Nigeria can never work, because they have occupied sensitive positions that could propel the nation to move forward, and it can never move forward because that is not their nature. So before you fight for one Nigeria, know the history of Nigeria. Okay? Know the history of those who you are calling Nigeria with. Know the history of those who you are addressing as Nigerians. Know the history, how they come. Know the history of their culture. Know how they run administration. Know how they run government. Know how they think, the ideologies. Know everything about them so that you can know what you are fighting for. Some of the people fighting for Nigeria today don't know actually what they are fighting for. That's why it became very important that we begin to do this kind of teaching with the original document leading to the amalgamation of Nigeria. And I want to show you today that nothing has changed from that time till now. So when do you think something is going to change? If the British government could not solve the problem of northern Nigeria, is it P2B that is going to solve it? I want you to understand that the reason for amalgamation of Nigeria is because British government could not solve the problem of northern Nigeria. They invested billions and billions of pounds, yet they could not solve it. Do you understand? And when they could not solve it, what did they do? They pushed the problem to the southern Nigeria, deal with it, and they left. In a very short and a very brief explanation, the British, let me show you again. This is the problem. The whole of the problem you see today in Nigeria is here. I want to bring it to the screen very well. You see this text here is the problem you are facing today in Nigeria. The British could not solve the problem. What did they do? They pushed it to the south. They said, let me read it again. The North, largely dependent on the annual grant. They largely depended on they gave them annual grant. They could not generate any GDP. They could not generate any revenue. They could not generate anything. North, largely dependent on the annual grant from the imperial government. They say was barely able to balance. The North was barely able to balance its budget. The same budget that they can never balance today. The same thing is happening now. And let me bring, bring this one. Let me show you. You see this thing that, you see here, the same thing that North did before the amalgamation of Nigeria is happening here.
The lawmakers expressed displeasure with the Registrar of the National Board for Arabic and Islamic Studies, Mohammed Abdullahi, over non-remittance of over 300 million naira revenue generated to the Consolidated Revenue Fund.
Who are able to pay 30 million naira out of this 410. To conduct an exams in a year, they are saying they have spent 380 something million, and we are here to collect another budget from the federal government. I haven't contributed just 35 million. And if they ask for their budget there, they'll be telling me in the region of 10 to 20 billion naira. 5,963 members of staff arranging for one examination in a year and being paid 8.5 billion and now generating only 410, out of which you remit only 35 billion. There is a need to look deep
deeper into what this is about.
The committee resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate activities of the institution.
Now, she needs to investigate deeper if she knows the history of that comment. What is she going to investigate? If that woman knows the history of Nigeria, she would not make it. This is really the problem, that these people can never change. Here is the problem. What is it? It is because the British government could not solve this problem. They push it to the south. And now, and get ourselves out of this mess. Look at it. Let me read it again. The whole of Nigeria problem lies largely dependent on the was barely able to balance its budget. They did not balance the budget before 1914. Budget here.
The lawmakers expressed the National Board for Arabic and Islahi with a non-remittance of over 300 million naira consolidated revenue fund.
They cannot buy today. I want you people to understand. I'm saying you will all die miserably. Begin to listen to the word. One Nigerians will die miserably, very miserably. The policy of the government cannot change. They could not balance 1914. Now they are pumping billions into Israel. They cannot balance the budget of the Islamic study in 2000.
$30 million
out of this 410. To conduct an exams in a year, they are saying they have, and we are here to collect another budget from the federal government. And if they ask for their budget there, they'll be telling me in
5,963 members of staff arranging for one examination. 8.5 billion. And
billion. They can never ever balance the budget.
Only 410, out of which
after they generate 400 million. The same policy that they were doing before the amalgamation of Nigeria. Invest 80 billion, get 400 million naira in return. What kind of that? And this is the nature of every government department in Nigeria. Every sector of the government controls, even the one that the Southerners controls, because they have already that most of them now think like Fulanis. Interested in siphoning the money, looting it. Parasite. $14. Before that, these people cannot balance budget. You invest 8 billion and get 400 million. What do you expect to get? You expect to get the deteriorating state of the city, the country, because it's not a nation.
Only 35 billion.
Okay.
Into what this is about.
The committee
to look deeper into what this is about. There is not bringing it to you to show you what this is. All about the fact that you are all non-entity. It is all about because you can't read your history. So that when you are being you are going to address them. But they also know that you don't. So confront them objectively with fact and figures. How can you are serving Nigeria, you don't know anything about the people that are ruling you. You don't know their history. Deeper. Who is going to look deeper into it? Are doing here, it ends there. It ends there. Right there. Nobody can do anything. He said we are going to look deeper. We are going to play the video again.
With the Registrar of the National Studies, Mohammed Abdullahi, with a non-remittance of over generated to the consolidated
to pay such.
What they are saying here is that over 400 million naira they generated. So the first 8 billion. 8 billion. 8 billion. And in return, I've never seen anything like this. Okay, where you make investment to get 400 million, and in that 400 million, they remitted only 35 million. Can you imagine? 165 million gone with nobody. Okay? So I want you to watch.
Remittance of over 300 million naira revenue generated. And
who are able to pay 30
of this 410 to conduct an exams in a year. They are saying they have spent 380 something million, and we are here to collect another. I haven't contributed just 35 million, and if they ask for their budget there, they'll be telling me
5,963 members of staff. Examination in a year and being paid 8.5 billion and now generating only 400 to remit only 35 million. Look deeper into what this is about.
the committee resolved to set up an ad hoc activities of the institution.
Now, the ad hoc committee to investigate this. It's rubbish. If they know whom they are, they will be ashamed of themselves. They will know that all this setting up committee, the British could not solve it. Is it you that will solve it? You. Because their life and their nature is not the same. It's not progressive. It's Islamic State. All they are after is Sharia law. I want you, all of you, to understand today, or waiting for anybody. You don't know your history. Something that could not be. Yes? Is it that is going to solve it? I am mentioning P2B video now to to talk about me, talk about P2B. So I'm asking you, is it P2B or who do you think will? And let me tell you, the North don't have a problem. From this particular perspective, the North don't have problem. To us is a problem. To the British government, it's not a problem. That you can't change it. So what we are saying is that compatible with us. Let us not see it as is a problem. Let us not see it as if Nigeria divide leave, North is going to suffer. No! It is us and them as if they are going to suffer. It is their nature. A problem. So we must be able to very very blunt in telling this truth, that when we say I want people to understand that the people that conquered northern Nigeria in house, they live in the bush, they live in the forest, they sleep with cows and sleep with animals. To be progressive, that lifestyle they are living is progressive to them. Their religion is what they need. They don't need to live in a out like me. They don't need to me. They don't need to have money like me and you, even though some of them now are having money and they use it to purchase arms and ammunition to do terrorism. You can't see it anywhere. You can't see them wearing expensive clothes in any community, because it is their lifestyle and their nature. But people will know that you have $1. You are going to live. So when we are saying there is now the same thing is repeating itself, and this woman is saying they are going to set out into the culture of people, to look into the way of life of something that was there before, and the culture have not changed. To change it, that is absurd. For because this is this is the most important section of this broadcast today. Now, I want you to understand this thing continues. They say that I'm going to repeat it again. That is necessary in this kind of exposition. Dependent on the annual grant from the imperial government. Economic study today, because it was barely able to balance its budget with the most parsimonious economy and the necessary staff to house its staff. The same thing, the Islamic study have come to National Assembly to spend. They could not pay 5,000 staff. 100 million. The Northern and Islamic study. Its energies were upon the development of the native administration and the revenue resulting from the direct taxation from the coast rendered the expansion of the trade difficult. Choose represented of a country with an aggregate revenue equal to its need. Are you hearing that? The revenue, I want you people to understand that they say that its distance from the coast, 250 miles, expansion of trade difficult. Now, I want you people to understand that before 1940, the anomaly was presented of a country which is from northern Nigeria, of a country practically equal to its need. So what they say, what they are trying to tell you is that before 1914, the aggregate revenue of northern Nigeria is equal to its need. they generate 500 million. The need have nothing to offer. I want people to understand though, now it is no longer revenue is equal to its need. No. The situation now, the need is 8 billion. The revenue is 400 million. I am telling you, the situation is worse. It's times 1,000 worse than 14. Today, from the perspective of, from this particular perspective, Islamic State, Islamic 8 billion annually, they will generate. But today, they are spending 8 billion. Not even 1 billion. Half, not even 1/4 of the amount invested. So, and this is the way it is going to go worse every year that come and pass by. And yet, how it has affected your hospitals, how it has affected, you don't have good road, why the money stagnant in life. You come to America and you are happy, you are supporting one Nigeria. Meanwhile, the money that your own country to be like America that you are living and bragging is being used to sustain people that have nothing to offer. Don't need the money because the money, it is only few people among them. And they don't use that money to do anything in their own community. They can't build road in their own community. Not absolutely nothing to contribute in their own community. They use the money to develop Arab countries. First. And you sit in America as an educated man. Yes. Because if you cannot make this simple arithmetic that I'm doing today, thing I'm taking today objectively to see the need for and support Biafra government mountain once and for all, then it means that your word and your is wasted years. It is wasted years. To win in court and come to do, you are, honestly. Because what I'm doing here is what I'm doing on the fake news? No. Because Nepa is king of fake news. Never had the opportunity to listen to me when I make exposition. They never have the time to listen and talk and analyze. They never had the opportunity to listen. King of fake news. I don't know which fake news I'm. Now I'm here telling you a practical thing that Northern Nigeria is not their nature. Northern Nigeria does not need development. People that have conquered them through terrorism, Usman Danfo. It is here in British report. They say Fulani, and Fulani are nomadic. Nomadic doesn't live in a house. Nomadic are not interested in development. And the Northern Nigeria have embraced them. And they have conquered them with terrorism to be what they are not. Just like the way we cannot be Muslim, you can't to begin to build towers in the north. You can't force them. It is impossible. Who is going to stay in tower? But we, in tower, we want development. We want to beautify our city. good. We want to live good life. So why are you forcing not? When they are telling you that eradicating innovation and we are embracing tsunami. Well, this is it, the picture. Innovation and embracing tsunami of the nomadic Fulanis. This is the agenda of the people ruling Nigeria from the north. To build good road, build good hospital, and you want to go to north. I want every Nigerian watching me today to understand that you can never it is their nature. Do not pity them. Because if you go to northern Nigeria, you are going to pity them. Why are you pitying them? That is their nature of life. You don't need to go and start pitying somebody's life because of his nature. And because, oh, in the north, people are dying. Begging for food. It is their nature to beg. But it is not you. So we must understand our differences. We must understand where we are different, and otherwise. And this lifestyle is one of the differences we have. Not a Nigerian person to life. That's why when they are coming to your place, they carry kettle. They carry kettle and one bag. Because it is their place. You carry big bag. And you want to go and stay in hotel. Have you seen a Fulani man coming to the bush where other Fulani people are staying? So why do you now worry about the same thing with you? I want us to, because this is very, very important. They said, its distance from this, okay, choose, the anomaly was presented of a country with an aggregate revenue but divided into two by an arbitrary line of latitude on a grant which in the year before amalgamation stood at £136,000. Average £314,500 for the 1912. For the past 11 years, has been making money from the south and paying grant to the north. And mistake the British made being forced to make today, thinking that they don't need the help. I want you to begin to change your mental. The British was giving because they are nomadic. Milk from cow directly. They eat nunu. They eat how they feed. They don't eat the yam like we do. No. They don't need to start going to the market to cook rice and cook ugu. No. They don't need to start. We are the ones that do that. Eat it. Well, they can't afford to kill their. They buy and kill it and give them money. So today, British was busy giving them £300,000. 11 good years. So they were actually living on the money Britain was making from southern Nigeria, because they were making money from southern Nigeria. It was being used to feed the north. The same thing is happening today. Nothing has changed. And the Britain is trying to also make you to continue their policy. The policy of you must stay in one Nigeria. Our sweat and our future to feed the North that does not need the money because of their nature. North does not, because it is not their nature to live in a glass house. But the Britain is telling you, they build glass house in the North. They did. They are compelling us to do. And we are going to say enough is enough. It will stop this year. But see how they are going to govern Biafra land. Is it not? Let them do that. So we are going to see how they are going to govern Biafra. Enough is enough. Using our effort to compensate people that don't. And the difficulty in regard the North to ensure the development of its trade and to secure its custom duties. A port on the 1906. By pushing on to Lagos Railway to the frontier, the Secretary of State sanctioned to carry it onto a junction with the Barocano line at Minna. In the opinion of Sir John Eagleson, director, when it reached the northern Nigeria frontier of Ofa, should have crossed the Niger at Bateji, traversing and tapping the great trade center at the extremely costly and difficult bridge at Jeba, country to the north of it. The distance to Minna being precisely the same policy had, and the two outlets to this competition. And this thing, the thing is not showing on the screen. Sorry. This thing is not showing on the screen. You are a country and all that. You know about it's another country between the north and south. So which Benue, the today what you call the now major wagon to report on two railways and to use and control. He animated the needless cost which had the construction of the southern section was full of sharp curves and dangerous gradient, which had at an expenditure of £200,000. It was stated that the section of to difficulties has cost 2 million over 15,000 pounds. Unification of the control with a view of checking extravagant was the advent of the railway accentuated the need of custom duties collected at the port. The growing divergence of administrative method, interior become open up in the south. Also, now they started common policy where they actually, a way of a long memorandum dated May 1905 of the northern Nigeria. I advise policy supported by the High Commissioner of South of Lagos, and there was increasing evidence be postponed. Do you this particular amalgamation of the opinion Nigeria who were in that place were not for, they say he's governor. So he's the governor of Lagos and governor of this and that. Let me get myself a water. Let me get myself some water, please.
Was it love or the great passion for Nigeria or Africa government to join the two protectorates? The British do not make such decisions out of. The British amalgamated Nigeria. They knew that Nigerians are different people, and that as soon as they packed their bags into chaos, but they joined the two protectorates together nonetheless. Everything Lord Lugard did was in the interest of the crown. Remember, Nigeria had no say in the issue. So how did money? Southern Protectorate was economically buoyant, revenue for the development of its territory. This was due to the fact that spices, palm oil, and other sugarcane in abundance, and this was further boosted due to the closeness to the sea. The Northern Protectorate. In fact, if the Northern Protectorate continued to stand alone, but to use their money earned from registered into the British Commonwealth to sustain the Northern Territory. Avoid that, and so devise the idea of and using that money to offset the deficit of the Northern Protectorate. But how could that be done without raising technical and administrative issues or even starting civil war? The answer was with the amalgamation of Nigeria came a single vast territory, coal, cotton, cocoa, palm oil, all for export in huge quantities to Britain. They even had seaports and made Nigeria a gold mine for the British, a truly profitable venture indeed. This visionary leadership brought Queen's Court in England, but has raised a lot of boiling issues today. At this point, you must be wondering, Nigeria.
All right, you're welcome back. You're welcome back. So, I've just seen the reason why the amalgamation took place. But tomorrow, on the decision to amalgamate, tomorrow we are going toward the close of 1911. So join us tomorrow as we bring you the decision and that decision and explain it very well, because this is a very important document that we okay? It's not something the same day, using for that is going to take segment by segment. 1 hour teaching I'm going to open the telephone and I want to hear your opinion on this particular covering of the amalgamation document that everybody has been talking about for many years. I've been hearing amalgamation. Nobody have actually seen and how the amalgamation was decided. Today you are seeing it live and direct. It is not about somebody reading someone 14 that you are reading from our channel today. So let us hear your opinion from Enter Biafra channel 2. Logging in and calling us. Moving forward, and Exile is making a very, very tremendous progress, and in a few days' time, you will know where we are. All right, the line is open, and we are going to take call for like 20. Give us a call. You're welcome. So I'm going to stop at exactly 150. Click the call and give us a call. Just click the mic. Log in. You must log in. And book Gmail or here we go. You're welcome to the program.
Yeah, hello, Simon.
Hello.
Hello, Simon.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Simon. I can hear you, Simon. Thank you. Thank you, Simon. My leader, you are my leader. You are my prime minister. I don't want to, because the whole world can see exactly what you are doing to God Almighty will keep on sustaining you for us. You are called, and He will continue to be your strength. So I just want, because as I was watching your program today, somehow tears was coming down from my eye. How all will be a secret to all the Southerners, why the Fulanis that we, as nomadic people or people that didn't go to school, they have this thing that you're saying. The reason why I'm saying it is this: actions, when you look at the way they behave, the way they talk, they have full knowledge of all exposition.
Yes.
They know. That's why one day, one of them was saying that the riverine area belongs to. I think you have come across that very video.
Yes, of course.
When this thing, he was indirectly, mocking the South. He was indirectly telling the South that it had, and it shall continue to be like that. But I thank God for this generation. I thank I thank God for IPOP members and decide that this time will be so. I thank you very much. I pray that God Almighty will continue to strengthen you. So our ancestors are with you. I have a vital information to give you, and I was waiting but I don't know how I will pass that information. It is about security, and I don't know. Our phone number, pass the information through him, but I have been calling him since then, and it's a security issue.
Okay, if write me an email and I'll get back to you.
Okay, I will do that at info at.
Write me email.
Okay.
The info at epa.fi. Yes.
I will do that. Thank you. Bless.
Thank you very much. All right, the line is on, and we see you make your opinion and your point very fast. The opportunity to talk. The line is open. Yes, this last caller actually.
Good evening, Honorable Prime Minister.
Good evening.
I will speak our language because I will speak our language. Yeah. Good evening, Simon.
Good evening.
Okay, now let me say to everybody. This message go by our people. Even Chonku this evening, one name Madi, you see, because all this broke na Kohli, Iota. Guma, Makamazin, Namoni. Again now, one name Madi, because Mbamazin. People who tolie, people kotalia, people here. Ucho, bazi, ucho. Ome kolife, ute mofo, puta nantane. Onye, jojo nibe, puta nantane, koto onye. So even the aquarium is right now, open message you with all these people. Never look back. So even the who are now, because nobody is. So even the who are now, because all these idiots in America, I know Pastor 419 one OBJO you can only narrow. Don't never look back. If I talk Bukai want to be Biafra and Chine to Gane to go no number. You go with this Laka. One day, Kamale number. Now, Antinia in one money.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's speaker in Iboda. All right, the line is still on. 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 Right. You're welcome to the program.
His Excellency. Your Excellency.
There we go. Yeah, what's in it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What else can the British do if not to make sure? How can I come out? Okay. What else can the British make sure Africa, especially the rice, they just colony. They planted the governor in what they call the Southern Protectorate, administrator in what they call the Northern Protectorate, and finally emerged and became one. Before seeing who can produce, who has, and knowing that if the Protectorate wants to fund the North, it will trigger a very heavy civil war.
Yeah.
They themselves that this must be just. And during the analysis, one of them said the person said that British already know that the moment they attacked their party created one of the highest face of the earth, and it is playing, and the South were never the same. In fact, the entire South were.
Oh, we lost you. We lost you. We lost you. Call back. Call back. Network kick you out. The line is open. The line is open. And I think the favorable today. The line is open. The line is open. The line is open. All right. So as we're waiting for caller, let us go on break.
Was it love or the great passion for Nigeria in general that moved the British government to join the two protectorates? Let us not be naive. The British do. It was money. The British economic reasons. They knew that Nigerians are different people, and that as soon as they packed their bags and returned to Europe, the country would descend into chaos. Together, nonetheless, everything crown. Remember, Nigeria was not the issue. So how did money cause the amalgamation? The Southern Protectorate generated more than enough revenue for the development of its territory. Produced enough food, spices, natural products like cotton and sugarcane in abundance, and this was further boosted. The Northern Protectorate, on the other hand, did not generate enough. It continued to stand alone. The British government would not have a choice but to use.
Yes, you're welcome to the program.
What?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm calling you. I've been looking forward to speak with you, but thank God I've gotten you now. Continue to do the work. The consistency is what has built. It has yielded a great result.
Yes.
Have you?
Thank you very much. All right. I think hello. We have 7 minutes to go. We have 7 minutes. Hello? Hello? Are you there? All right, he's not talking. I think still have 7 minutes to go. Come to the program.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm back, yeah. So I don't know where I stopped. The British know exactly what they did, and their interest was on our natural resource. I know that the South is more prosperous than any other part, and when you come to the South, they are more prosperous than any other part. So they have to rob Peter to pay Paul, and they use the Fulanese as a willing tool to subdue the South, because before now, and because of our submissiveness, they took the same. How I wish you were in the forefront of this struggle from 2014 up to now, because Nigeria don't need a petty hand; they need just an iron hand. And don't mind that Pastor Daddy Stone that they called him. All the zoo pastors who think that and the useless philosophy. That's their course 3 years back.
You don't need to.
PST 101.
Hello. You don't need to come here. Human being. Have you seen me? Once we are pronouncing them, they become completely irrelevant from that particular day.
For even reading like so, this is the best time to quit Nigeria. Just as what the arithmetic you did during the past election destroy Nigeria, and it came to pass. Yes. And the next phase is this between 29th and 30th.
Exactly. Well, you know what? They don't know that when we tell them that what we are fighting is brain war.
and they don't. Nothing has stopped. What do we achieve?
Yes.
We achieve putting Nigeria in confusion. They don't know who to. They don't know who to swear in now. As 29 is coming, they don't know who to swear in.
And anyone that goes there, it becomes a problem.
This is what you did to them, and the people they are seeing it, and the Nigerian government is confessing it, and to do something. Then Finland will not do it. I'm proud of you. Thank you, sir. Everyone from A to Z, everybody. Monumental movement. This is no longer IPOB of a team. This is no longer a group. And we must match them.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have 3 minutes. Expecting the last caller. Class will be available, to enter Biafra on the same link immediately when we have a broadcast like this. You wait for like a few minutes. The broadcast will be uploaded. It will be uploaded to the website at the same link. You're welcome to this one is making noise. So we have to cut him off and wait for another person. All right, you're welcome to the program.
Our PM, Able PM. Explanation. You get some. the I hear say yeah. After the amalgamation, then when and go up the line, they get some altercation. Sanusi say unresourceful, and go up the line. Northern Elder Forum, also a prominent member, McBan or waiting, and Fulani and debunked Sanusi. In front of say the whole Nigeria before of oil. Say yeah. Your document, no talk anything like that. Is it that you know read that? Please,
this is original document. It just may be it was in a different the Abdullahi or whoever is talking from of the British original document. Those things is because they thought we are not going to lay our hand because you know they thought they. So that's why history is not there. So how can you be coming to tell people a story without evidence? So if along the line in this document, we are going to read where they feed the whole with granite, because Southern Nigeria has been the one feeding everybody. And today, the narrative we want to change this particular day, the 18th of April 2023, is that not okay, because they have made it to look like or look as if we have problem. Not living their standard life. We must agree the standard life of the Northern Nigeria. Nomadic people do not live in glass houses like us. That we must make very clear. So when they come in, because of the bad governance and all, that is the way of life of Northern people.
Yes, I understand. Like us, we say, okay, it gets in here we come close all the border from the south. They plant rice, they don't produce rice, they don't export rice. Pyramids of rice. The end of the day, carpenters do work with spackle, with stick 2 by 2. Not side by the side. Could that be the talk about?
Will you ever believe? Wait, did you hear about the pyramid? Will you ever believe in this your life? You that is talking now. Will you ever build Paco, build something and put rice on top? And you will never believe that.
Now, I would like to debunk the time the bag of rice will come down to 27,000. This
is a bag of rice.
40 something. You know what happened?
I'm just giving an example. You see, why that's it there. I'm just giving an example.
I think we don't die for you.
So let me go back. Let me go down at all.
Now the last argument is to the people of Benue. The briefing, they don't mention what they just say, okay, bringing this away, we will pass that other country.
Yes.
They don't value Benue. That set the annihilation.
Yes.
The Britain didn't even put the Middle Belt into consideration while amalgamating.
Yes.
They have ceded all that places to the Fulani.
Yes. But yet, they understand that they are different. Yeah. Oh, we lost him. We lost him. Sorry. Are you there?
Me again.
Go ahead. So, yeah, you
wherever the Benue people are going, it is the blueprint from Britain to Fulani to annihilate those people. Accordingly, that is why the plight of the Benue, the Britain at all, did not consider Benue into the amalgamation. No. They no call Benue to the Fulani.
yes.
So this their anger, and let them rise up and defend them or Lugard or want anybody with the Lord Harcourt to seize them over to Fulani and give them to kill them and wipe them out. According to this document, because I hear so many country. My mind is in which country be this? And they talk about the south, they talk about Lagos, they talk about the north. Where
The middle belt.
Yeah, I use my.
Thank you very much, and may God bless you all. We're gonna stop here, bro, and follow us. Uncovering of the amalgamation. May God bless Bifran. May God bless someone and her husband. May God bless our Eastern Liberation Army. May God bless the government in exile, all the cabinet. May God group, the New Dimension, and all of them. Media team, our media personnel, the writers, and our investors all over the world. May God bless our homeland and homeland security. From here, from me, it is good evening.
You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing.